Google has taken us live. It's Sam and Nico. It is the Kent Beck Scrum on a Monday. Nico, yeah, how are things going with you?
Yeah, I've been working on the GitHub content for reproducing the content that is on GitHub in website 1.
Right.
So I was able to do that with simple markdown in our project, just the about us. But the thing is that what we want to implement is to dynamically change all the pages that we have. Hi there, how are you?
Hey Nico, hey Sam.
So what I'm doing now is trying to see what information we will need to save, because we will need to run a background job upgrading our database in our static pages. And I think that I will add a migration for saving a hash with the representation of the HTML that it was saved. So if it matches, I won't save it again. Just for doing some checks there. Oh, okay. And another thing that I want to know is we have the Agile Ventures static pages repository, right? So how are we going to get the static pages there? I mean, everything is going to be there in just, or we are going to have that like subfolders having the static pages, or how are we going to manage that?
Yeah, we'll have to organize that layout. Yeah.
Because if I'm going to get that information from the GitHub API, I need to know how are we going to get the information.
Sure. But we can talk some more about that at the top of this. Cool. Anything else blocking you? Any other plans you want to share?
Nope. I've been working on that only. So.
Good stuff. And I think you deployed Agile Ventures that like.
Yeah. I did the deploy to production. Yeah.
And good stuff. Let's go on to Ryder is here as well. Thanks, Nico. Ryder, how are things going with you?
Hey, good morning, fellas. Pretty good. Had the Elixir mob. I mean, how are you guys? Right?
we're all good. It's goodness, and but yeah, we want to hear about you.
For sure. Well, thanks. This morning we had the Elixir mob. That was pretty good and productive. It's a really well, given that we're sort of working on an intractable, very difficult to pin down problem, I'd say it was very productive. I think we had good intelligence gathering and a fairly disciplined and systematic approach that helped us rule some things out and keep trucking along. And of course, the product's really interesting. Paranauts there. I'm still in my personal professional thing. I'm still looking for work, but I've taken a break from talking to recruiters for the time being. Because what I'm looking, yeah, yeah, and I'm trying more to like focus. Yeah, go ahead.
No, like sometimes you just get tired of,
get tired. Yes. What I'd really like to do, because I was just telling my my folks the other day, my mom anyway, that what I'd really like to work is a place like Agile Ventures, but I get paid to work there.
Yeah, the same here.
So I think maybe focusing a little bit more on like the types of interactions that I want to have professionally, even if there's no profit involved right now. And maybe eventually over time, some of those might lead to something else. But it at least keeps me really clear on what it is that I want, rather than just kind of wading through this sea of stuff out there, the overwhelming majority of which is not what I want.
That makes a lot of sense.
Does that make sense, Nico?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, Sam.
Yeah, I think it's I mean, it's sort of is. I mean, it's almost fake it until you make it. I mean, I think you kind of it's almost like you need to assume the role that you want to be brought on as. It's kind of like you need to sort of. Some people would say like, oh, hey, give me more responsibility, and then some people say, well. I mean, this is the context of like a stupid corporate.
Yeah, that was the podcast that you shared the other day. They were saying that.
Well, I think they often say that in the Which podcast was that? Was that the it was the soft skills audio.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Do you know that podcast, Ryder?
Yes, Jameson and Dave.
Yeah. I think it's kind of The strategy you're describing there sounds excellent to me, Ryder. And then basically, it's like you're saying, like do the things that you think you're going to enjoy doing and keep on doing them. You know, and I mean, it's obviously frustrating, like logistically, if one can't get. If there's money on offer for loads of stuff that you're not interested in doing, and it's like, I want to do this stuff, but I think the more that you focus on doing the stuff that you like, the more that you get better and better and better at that, and the more the opportunities accrue, and then ultimately that can be the thing. It's definitely what I'm going for. I mean,
you're right.
I'm, you know, at some point we may achieve this critical mass with Agile Ventures, and if I can land this bloody My Notebook project, that'll be. Anyway, anything else to report?
Yes.
Anything else blocking you? Any other?
Will. That's about it. I had a lunch discussion with a guy I'd like to work with, like his company. They have a small kind of consultancy type deal, and they also do some dev education things on the side. So, you know, I'm talking to the right people and doing things I enjoy. So,
great stuff. Excellent. Yeah, no, good report. But then that comes to me. Yeah, so I was also in the Elixir mob. Yeah, after you left, right? Interestingly, on Ben's fresh install, the test started passing, but intermittently. They would be green for like 2 or 3 runs, and then they would fail. And and on my machine, so on the fresh install, I didn't get the like set JavaScript error, but I also got mine have still never passed on my machine, but I get these like just normal failures, which are the ones that Ben had. So we're kind of at the point of saying, it's not worth burning any more time on the acceptance tests for the moment, when we've got, you know, there's definitely something a bit weird there, but I think we need for our sanity to move on to, you know, like doing some more stuff, more fun stuff. So hopefully maybe you and I can do some of that on Friday. Yeah, then I had lunch and I made a little bit more progress on the deep learning neural network stuff, every slowly and tiny little flake a little bit off every lunchtime. Then I had the auto graders meeting, and we were reviewing like some RSpec complexities and stuff, and that's all finished. So now what have we got? So normally we'd be having the website 1 meeting, but we've moved that to Tuesday, which is going to make hopefully my day much easier. We've got the AV community meeting coming up later on. Yeah, I think that's about the size of it. There's not blockers except that there's a time machine that I try to will into existence. Still not appearing for me. I was doing like if I could send a message to myself in the future and send the time machine back to this day right now, and it keeps on not appearing. But anyway, yeah, the My Notebook thing, which is really nice. They were supposed to pay the deposit on Friday. It was supposed to start today. They finally on Friday and sort of said, "Oh, there's a little delay and a difficulty." And anyway, you know, it's all we will. I mean, you know, there's always got this thing of, yeah, it is difficult to transfer large sums of money internationally. You know, at what point do you kind of say? I mean, I've had this with so many other situations where just, you know, people were talking to. I you know, optimistically.
You can do it in parts. I mean,
so, it's broken into installments. It's you know, there's just such a big difference between people talking about making those larger sums of payments and actually doing it. Nothing has you know, the mood music is still good. It's just one of those things where, you know, you can't tell when there's a minor delay, if that's just like is that a minor delay because there really was this difficult thing, or is it people getting cold feet, or what is it? So
yeah.
There we are. So that's our stuff. That's our Scrum done. I think we had the outstanding issue from Nico. You were asking about what does the architecture need to be for this like Google GitHub repo that's gonna have the static pages.
Yeah. If I can just put all the pages like in the repository, like just right there.
I would say it's a very good question, but I don't know that it's one that we need to solve like now. Like it would at least like for me. Right, as I understand it, what you've done is let me get this. If we imagine that we've got the main Agile Ventures, this is the website 1 repo, right? And so the thing that you were spiking on was having it. So in the sort of directory structure here, which I can't really draw, but like this is that there would be some like an about us Markdown page. Like there'd be like a view.
Well, yeah.
What you were spiking before. I know this is not what we're talking about now, but the thing that you were spiking before as a kind of let's do the simple thing before we move on to the complex bit where we have to pull stuff from, like with a background task from another GitHub repo, is just to have a, like some pages like this. I don't want to get inside, but let's put premium.
Yep.
These would be. And so you were happy. You got that working already, right?
But I just discarded all those changes.
Okay, so you played around and it worked, and then you kind of threw it out. Okay, fair enough. But so now, what we're talking about is having a situation. So we now have another repo, which we've got like the AV repo, and at the moment the organization of that repo is pretty much stuff is sitting on the root, and so then we would have in here. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing, right? And you're saying, oh, okay, but then say that we're going to have a load of other pages. Should we have like, should there then be like a premium directory?
Yeah,
going to have
exactly.
like this stuff, and how are we going to do it? I mean, in the first instance, I would just write something that took all of the markdown files on the root directory and stored them in so if we then had a kind of
because for example I logged into production and I just retrieve all the static pages that we were using, and we have like 60 static pages, so 63, and I don't know we are going to have all of them. Just telling you that we have 60.
Right, there's quite a lot of them. Indeed. I mean, I guess so. Yeah, I guess you're saying that if there's 60 and we want to replicate those, then there would be like dumping those 60 into the root of root of here. Should we have some organization? Yeah, the thing I was going to say in the first instance is that if this one is the the main Rails repo, and then it's got the background task, and it's like dumping stuff from the AV repo into the database here as a kind of cache for us.
I got to run, you guys. I'll see you later.
Thanks, Ryder. Have a good one.
Have a good one for now. Bye.
Right. So it's pulling that in. So I mean, what I would be tempted to do is just in the first is get it to work so that it just grabs everything that's on the root.
Okay.
And do that. But the other things to do is you could look at the Odin project and see what they do. Okay. Like how they structure their, do you know what I mean? Like
how they
You could look at, I mean, just off the bat, it occurs to me that let's say we had in here, and that said like the mob MD. So say that we then had a structure like this, let's say.
Yeah. And if you go right now to the static web pages that we have on Agile Adventures, there are other files there. I mean, should I load all the things that are already there?
Yeah, why not? I mean, the thing that I would be like, if we didn't have the Odin project, what I would be tempted to do as a first pass is that basically I would go and grab everything that was a markdown file in AV, and then basically stick it in here so that we then had, make its file name, make the string of the file name like the path. Do you know what I mean? So that this would then be this, like that. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yep.
But so before we do that, we could go and have a quick look at the Odin project and see what they've done. Like,
sure.
Are they storing, like, because they've got their stuff nested into different directories. So
yeah.
What have they got? it would sort of be it. If it sort of feels like the thing to do is like if the background task just grabs everything that's a markdown file from in here, that would be kind of pretty future-proof. That as we organize and arrange the content, it's just going to be pulled in, you know, as appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean
Yeah, so the only field that I will need to add is something to just check if the content has changed and nothing more, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could, you know, almost. I mean, it's the interesting question is like, is it worth checking that the content has changed? Because it's if it was me, probably on the first instance, I would just write a task like it's going to have to reach out to the OctoKit. I mean, you can have it like be doing a grab and doing the like there's not 304. It's like whatever. I mean, there's that HTTP content not changed thing that we could be working with. But in the first instance, just to make it simple, why not grab and overwrite what's there? Like, you know, like for the amount, it's not like we're downloading a 30 gigabyte file where we're really concerned about, oh, we shouldn't use that bandwidth. It's kind of for the time that it would take to grab, and given that it runs, you know, I would avoid optimizing it until we've got it working and we have identified that there's a optimization that's needed. Yeah, first. And
I just changed the gem that we were using because markup is like the GitHub, in the GitHub page, they say that they are using another gem for changing. So I just grabbed the same that the Odin project was using. So
okay, so right, this is the gem that the Odin project is using for the cram down.
Yeah.
Right. Cool.
And it works.
And I guess it occurs to me that what this could ultimately be doing is that then, like, you know, in terms of the URL, like if we were basically storing it like this, then we could set it up so that then on av.org, these would correspond to exactly the same path structure that came about on here. Like that would then be premium, and then av.org/premium mob like this.
Okay.
And so you'd sort of know, right, if I want to put a file that's going to be somewhere in the av.org site, then I just know that I need to like put it in a directory called you know, whatever, and then I don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll let you. You know, I think you're getting good at it. Simplest thing first.
Cool. Perfect. Yeah, I will do that. I will make it work, and I will push the changes.
Great stuff. Thanks, Nico. Bye for now. Take care.
Bye-bye.